world's gone crazy. No ifs, and buts, or maybe. The world's gone crazy.
This world's gone crazy. No ifs, ands, buts, or maybes. This world's gone crazy. If you don't believe me, then relieve me of these beliefs whereby you receive me for understanding to perceive me. For beginners, you got a sharp tongue. That's really a dog one.
Welcome to Urbanversity with Holy-Apostle Deen. And may I use peace and blessings be with them about everybody's presence.
Peace and blessings be with everybody's presence as well.
I got my brother. Sometimes I forget your name, man. Idris Taha. Fakir up here. And I got one of my girls here, Sister Glow. Tahira. What's happening, Tahira? You want to be on this show today. I'm glad you're here. What's going on? What's going on? I know. You can't talk to sign language now. What's going on with the with your business and singing? Still working on it? You all didn't know that Tahir was going to be performing, did you?
She said something.
She told y'all about it? Yeah, she's going to be performing with the sounds of now. Yeah. Uh-huh. Much to Miriam's chagrin. Miriam feel like everybody taking over from her, you know? But I heard you was doing pretty good.
I didn't say that.
You know? No, you didn't say it, but you thought it.
No.
You didn't think it. Okay, all right, calm down unless you want to come over here and get on the show. I know how to control her, you know. She don't want no cameras, no lights, no nothing on her, you know. But when she get them on her, she be throwing down. I have to get that to her. She, you know, she be like a boxer, nervous, you know. When she get on that stage, boy, she just go. And you can't do nothing with her. And then that little Aisha, E-Pearl. Is that E-Pearl? She jumped almost off the stage one day, man. I thought she was pulling up one of them James Browns on me, man. You know? But it's all good. It's all fun, you know. But everything's going all right. I'm hoping for some good things from you. I haven't been able to put anything down for you for myself. I've been involved in my writings for a lot in terms of the books and stuff, you know. I'm on page 130 in another book, you know. I've been dropping that on me, you know. He's been dropping that on me, and I'm very happy about that, you know. The wisdom, I enjoy it so much, man. I just be glad when the day comes that I either say, okay, put this out there, you know. But I think that what I'm working with now is, it may be the first book that I put on audio for people, you know what I mean? And, but we'll see what happens, you know. But I know that everything comes in its own time, and evidently, like for the Divine Book of Recitation, it's not the time to bring it out here, because, you know, when I either do it, it's going to do it. Recurse is one thing, you know. I was talking to one of my daughters the other day, and she was asking me about studying the recursor, and with the Quran, or as opposed to the Quran, and I was telling her that, you know, the precursor actually is just an introduction. Right. You know, it's an introduction to the Divine Book of Recitation. Right. You know, but it has a lot of wisdom in it, you know, and I think that some people might think that's like the height of what we deal with. Man, you know, from what the experience we've had, don't you wish we could get it out there yesterday? You know? Swallowed up. You know, I remember brothers used to say various things to me, and I used to just shake my head and say, boy, when Allah put this book on them, it's going to smash them. Yeah. You know, they think they playing with something. They got the Holy Quran, and they think they got something with its false translations. You know, they think they got something with their own understanding, man. This book is a life-giver and is a destroyer.
It manifests you how during the time of Prophet Muhammad, and how although there was still a lot of rancor during this time, they still had to defer as they would hear the book. It was so
They had to, because the Quran hasn't lost its power.
Right.
You understand? The Quran hasn't lost its power. It has never had power to lose. See, but Allah, now that's where it's at. Allah manifests through the Quran to whom it wills. So the power that was in the Quran for Muhammad was in there for me. It's in there for all people who are true practitioners of the path, sincere practitioners of the path. Not those who think they believe, not those who think they got some power themselves for understanding, but those who surrender properly. Then Ahezaah turned its power on for them. And then they see the living word of the Holy Quran. You know? But in most situations now, in all these different countries, they got false translations. They messing with it like they did the Bible. And now it's so crazy, so wild. They mixing books right in with it. How you gonna mix a book in, just like me clasping my hands together, in with the Holy Quran and say, that's the glorious Quran?
What one of the signs of manifest in this day is that it says that in the Quran itself, that this Quran will be discarded. No, they got away from the words of Ahezaah now, and they're going to the words of men.
Yeah.
And they're coined the phrase, Allah have coined the phrase, the Hadithism.
Yeah.
And they have intermixed that now into the word, into the book of Allah now.
Yeah.
So you can't tell one. So Allah leave it in chapter 2.
For the new people.
It's
For the people who coming now into Islam, they don't know they're getting the false book.
No.
They don't know the difference between the Quran and the Hadiths.
Right.
And then when somebody tell them, they think that it's all right that they intermix man's words with Allah's words. They think it's all right. You know? I mean, the thing that ripped me was last week the brother brought to me this book that said, you know, Allah praised Muhammad. You know? Right. I'm like, oh man, is that putting the donkey behind the cart and saying giddy up?
Yes, it is.
You know, what you think, Tahira? You ain't escaping. You want to sit up here with Daddy? You think Daddy gonna treat you like a baby, huh? Let's let you sit over there, alright? Huh? I should have called up one of your teachers and see how you doing in school. Oh yeah, there's a teacher over there. Who needs to be in school herself. True. I know. We all need to be in school. But so what's up? Where we at?
You know, there was a discussion with
Miriam, Sister Miriam had asked a question, and I had wanted to address it on the other show. She had said about people misrepresenting me. Would you like to know how I feel about it? Okay. I think it stinks. Like they say, something smells fishy in Denmark. You know? Well, something smells cheesy in Green Bay. You know? It's wrong. It's wrong for people to misrepresent me. You know? And what it amounts to is them misrepresenting Ahezaah. And what they do is some knowingly and some unknowingly, unaware, surrender themselves to the army of Satan. And they are not my friends. They're my enemies. They're enemies in my camp. And they're going out and they're representing Satan. They're helping Satan to hold back the people of the world. That's why, you know, we have a great audience of Ahad believers through the tube. You understand? But we should have soldiers, strong soldiers that marching up and down the streets. We talk about Jehovah's Witness, all them Jehovah's Witnesses always knocking on our door. I wish I could say all them Ahad believers always got what Allah sent down, walking up and down the street, giving it out to people. But we don't have that. We got people who misrepresent, who are afraid to step up to the disbelievers and the rejectors of this faith and stand up with truth. We got people who say they are Ahad believers, but they go out and they party with their relatives, their children, their neighbors. They do all kind of illicit things. And then, because they think they covered, it don't bother them. You know? But lo and behold, many words have come back to me about all the people in our community. You know? From sources I never dug up. To say, oh man, you know, this person, these people, they do this, that, boo bop, boo bop, boo bop, boo bop. And I said, boo bang, boo bang, boo bang. And they said, boo bop, boo bop. I said, boo bang, boo bang, boo bop, boo bop, boo bop, boo bop, boo bop. And we make music. We're talking about how people misrepresent this community. I had a brother not long ago just came in here. He was one of those book brothers that believed in the books and information and knowledge and what have you. He said to me clearly, I don't trust them and I don't trust you. So I knew that it was nothing I could do for him. You know, because you're supposed to trust the messenger as though you trust in Allah, no matter what anybody tell you. But, you know, he said, because of them and the way they are, I believe you have to be like them. You know? So I understood where he was coming from, sadly. And I have warned the people in this community for years about things like that. But I had to dismiss him. Let him go. Because he could do me no good if he coming around here trying to straighten me out. That's because Ahezaah gives me as a sign of mercy to be crushed and to have to tolerate all the ignorance and the rejection of the people and all they things they do aside from me that's like slandering the path. It don't make me be unto them, you know? But I know that there are certain things that I might take for people, like my language. You know, I speak the language of you all, you know? And I don't try to hide it. I ain't trying to be no phony and put up nothing, because if you can't accept me as I am, then who am I to be accepted? You know? If I fake like I don't speak like everybody else, once you find out I speak like everybody else, you're going to say, that brother is playing a game. Because that nigga be cursing and shit.
Well, you point out the great wisdom.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And see, somebody could say, like people have said to me, you can't say that on TV. You can't say that and let people know that you use profanity. You can't do that as the messenger of Allah, because people ain't going to believe you the messenger of Allah. And I say, how do you say them? Excuse my expression. But the thing about it is, and you can bleep that one out. But the thing about it is, I've been around for 30 years and people was rejecting all the time. So what is my language gonna do? I got more people listening to me now for using their language than I did for not. You know, I'm tired of, trying to put up the facade, I gotta be myself. I'm the messenger of Allah, and I'm gonna be myself. I got people around me that ain't supporting right, they ain't serving Ahezaah right. Sometimes, I get angry, especially if they sitting up here on this panel, and I know that people out there see them and say, man, I ain't believing that nigga, because that nigga that's sitting with him, or that broad that's sitting with that doing this, that, and the other, or whatever, I can't fall into that. I gotta keep giving the message, and if people reject because of that, then that's their loss. You know what I'm saying? But like they said, keep it real, and I be keeping it real. Well, not as real as I would like to, because I really would like to whip his behind. You know what I'm saying? And his behind. I can't say what I want to do to her. She might get scared. She might say, "Is that Daddy up there?" I'm scared of Daddy.
But I used to send a message to every people speaking in the language of those people.
People don't understand that. They think speaking in the dialect of those people.
Well, you pointed out that language is much more. Language is when someone can see you. Language means the inflection of your voice, how you move your head, how you
Everything.
glance, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's an understanding. It's an understanding of communication. That's language. You know? Yeah, but, you know, that's why I say they try to act like the devil. Try to act like Jesus didn't get angry and Jesus was not away from peace, you know. They like he's some kind of mechanical thing. He was some kind of mechanical thing that didn't know anger. You know, people believe it. You know? I say, I don't care what they say about Jesus. He was a nappy-head nigga. Like me.
Lord, how do you respond when those people...
I gotta tell these people I was just joking
I
about.
was going, you know.
I should say Negro. Well, I'm from Nigeria.
Not only might people look at it and say, well, he's insulting the prophets or Jesus or the
The heck with those low-level thinking people, you know what I mean? Because I remember this sister came to me, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I remember this sister came to me, and she was talking to me, you know, in front of my home and everything, and she went berserk. I had to tell her to get the hell away from my house. She talking about, you dissing the prophet. How you gonna diss the prophet like that? You dissing Prophet Muhammad. I said, no, I'm appraising Prophet Muhammad by telling the truth about Prophet Muhammad and his people. I ain't dissing the prophet. I never dissed the prophet. Most I've ever dissed the prophet is like a joke I just told. But I did not put Jesus no lower than myself. I included myself in there. You understand? But the thing about it is that, you know, I mean, I could have looked at her and started, you know, tearing her up with jokes and stuff, but she's standing up there looking like some hoe. Talking about I'm dissing the prophet. I'm looking at her with her hair, nappy hair out, and she's screaming about I'm dissing. I'm like, you dissing the prophet. You dissing life. Why was you born? You know what I mean? You cover yourself up. Come up to me talking about I'm dissing the prophet. You know what I'm saying? But that's the way religious people think. They always want to think somebody of another tongue is cursing theirs, or want to take from theirs, or want to smash theirs. You understand? When none of us own the prophets, you know, the prophets are are under the ownership of Ahezaah, under Amen, under El. El owned the prophet.
People understand, you know, of the gravity or the connection that they utilize, but they fighting. Allah says in the Quran that, you know, they won't want to raise the prophets up. You know, Allah said, who is the greatest? Allah said, no matter what their rank is,
Right.
they're all the same.
Right.
You know, maybe the job do they have in their time was important, but to Allah,
I had a brother who asked me for over 8 years. I couldn't believe. You ever seen a knucklehead, hard head? Oh yeah, yourself.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You ever seen a knucklehead? Yeah, yourself. You too, huh? Brother asked me for almost a decade who was the greatest in knowledge, me or this brother Jamal who passed on. Because this brother was on the dark side, had information, mystic information or what have you. Who the greatest in knowledge? Who the greatest? And I kept telling him, if you're a seeker of the path of truth, you don't need to know who's the greatest in knowledge. What you need to know is how to get to Allah. Why you want to know who's the greatest? If you're receiving information from him that's helping you, take that information. If you're receiving information from me that's helping you, take that information. You know what I'm saying? I remember once I wasn't so much jealous of Jesus. I was angry because I believed that Allah was ignoring me. And I said, oh Lord, if you spoke to Jesus, why can't you speak to me? And I was a young man. I don't even know if I was 9, 10 years old. Why you can't speak to me? If you speak to Jesus, I know you can speak to me. And from there, I wanted the Lord to speak to me. I didn't want somebody else speaking to me. But see, my Lord put that in me. that in myself. It put it in me to ask for it to speak to me, to demand, to cry, to beg. Please, make me straight. You tell me. I don't want no intercession. You tell me, you know. The Lord gave me that. But I tell people that's worth praying for, begging for. You understand? It's worth praising Allah for, not all those other things. You know? What you think, Tahira?
Well, do you ever see any question?
A question.
I wanted to clear up. Did you say it's worth begging for to ask Ahezaah to speak to you?
It's worth begging Ahezaah to ask it to guide you, to tell you, yes, what it wants you to do. Even more so, to take you into what it wants you to do, to carry you through what it wants you to do, to make you be what it wants you to be. You know, it's worth it. I mean, some people say, I ain't gonna ask that because what if it hurt me? Hey, aren't you hurting yourself already? You know? I mean, I hate to see a fight, man. Guy in the boxing ring, he just in there to survive, to get a paycheck, and he running around the ring, getting his butt beat, just running, don't want to get knocked out. But you know that guy gonna get knocked out eventually, because he's just a punching bag, just trying to. I hate that. Why you laugh? You remember that the fight that you had? Okay, hold on for a second. Don't you go nowhere, Jewel. I'm a believer that if you in the battle, you might as well fight. If you gonna lose fight. You know, I was watching this picture the other day, and a guy seen a giant praying mantis. And he stood up there. I could have checked my watch. And I'm like, I don't get involved that deep in TV like women do. But I was up there, run! Run, you fool! I hate you! Run! Like he could hear me. His buddy was telling him, run! I know he couldn't hear me, you know? But I had went and told my daughter, and we laughed so hard. I said, you ever seen people like that? I said, I pray Allah that it never do that to me. There got to be a curse. Danger coming, and you get locked in. Can't move. I mean, they even doing that to black actors now. And you know black people, we ain't seen no black people like that. I ain't never seen no black person like that. Something happened, he go, who? And they say, why you ran? I don't know why we running, but we running. And we running, so you get a quick run. Poof, why we running?
Tell me.
There you go. We used to that slavery, run from that master and them dogs. What's your question? Speak up.
How do you sacrifice yourself to Ahezaah?
How do you sacrifice yourself to Ahezaah? Anybody want to get that one? If I do, I guess I do.
You know what? That is the answer. You put yourself. You instructed us to be sincere with our mouths and our hearts. Just go sincerely. How many? It's about 6 billion people who come up short.
You got deceit artists. Your sister's an artist, and they are deceit artists. And I'm not talking about a de la sea. I'm talking about deceit. Oh boy. They say they chair artists. No, they're not this. No, they're deceit.
That's not funny.
But what it is we had a segment, we talked about begging Allah, using your tongue and your heart. See, you gotta put sincerity in your heart when you ask Allah for things. Some people don't know how to do it because some people are self-deceiters and self-defeaters. Deceit and defeat. They just deceive themselves and they beat themselves up all the time through their own deceit. You see? But if you can't see yourself being sincere, what's wrong with you practicing to beg? See, there's no excuse when you get before the throne of Ahezaah because there's all kinds of ways for you to get that word out of you with sincerity. If you are a deceit artist, a lying hypocrite, somewhere in your life there's moments where you could say, oh Allah, please, please, you know I'm a deceiving, lying hypocrite. You know what I am. Please take that away from me. Please guide me aright. Please take me into the path of your way. Please enlighten me. So you can do that. That's what Allah promised you, that if you do that and you do it sincerely, that it will deliver you. But see, some people get to a point where they think they've reached sincerity and they say, see, I asked Allah for that and Allah don't give me that. The hell with that. I'm not doing it. That don't work. You see? But they don't know what sincerity is. Huh? Now, if somebody opened that door and a Bengal tiger standing almost tall as this room walked through that door, I guarantee you, and I ain't no gambler, I bet money on this one. I guarantee you, everybody in here will pray for real. They will do something they have yet to do. They will act for real with sincerity to not get easy.
This world's going crazy. If you don't believe me, then relieve me of these beliefs whereby you receive me for understanding to perceive me. For beginners, you got a sharp tongue that's really a dull one. Leaving black